Hey, Cameron. This is Pete from Leaky Paywall, and I have Tyler here from Paywall Project. And we like to take a look at our publishers' websites after launch sometime and give a little feedback in terms of what we think might help your paid subscriptions. This is a little bit of an experiment because what we decided to do today is for Tyler and I to review your site independently and then come up with three things that we think are priorities for helping your group build paid subscriptions. Hey, Tyler, how's it
Hey,
going?
Pete. Good, good.
Excellent. All right. So we're just going to dive right in. Again, we have not collaborated at all. So it's going to be interesting to see what each of us come up with. So I'll tell you what, let me start. And
Okay.
I have my one, two, and three. We call this the subscription optimizer. And that's exactly what we're doing. I'm going to save my biggest one for last. So what I'm going to start with is, and if you're looking at the screen here, is the footer. There's a strong call out for getting rid of ads in the footer that is displayed on every single page. And while I agree that you have to annoy your readers a little bit on your website to get them to act, I think that this is hurting your ability to start the relationship with your readers. Just quickly, you have a hardcore group of readers. They're going to subscribe pretty early. You have some readers that are going to come to the site and just go away. They'll read a couple articles once in a while. They'll never pay. And then you have what I call them super casual readers in the middle. That's your biggest opportunity. And the goal with those super casual readers is to start building the relationship. And how do you do that? You don't do it by annoying them right up front with this ad-supported experience. And what you do want to do is you want to capture their attention early on. And I guess I'll give away some of what I'm going to talk about last. And that's usually done through a free registration to really turbocharge that free list. But even on the subscribe page, if I go up here and I hit subscribe, this message presents itself on the bottom, which is actually cutting off the view of your subscription cards and the gift subscription. And this, by the way, I should have opened with this, but the design of this site, the sort of the clean content presentation, these subscription call outs, the features and benefits at the top, really good. This is really nice looking site. I think the challenge here is just to tweak the messaging and the flow so you can create that seamless relationship with those super casual readers and turning them into subscribers. So I will just open with my number one as let's remove this. We're going to show you a better way to slightly annoy your readers to actually build a relationship. But that's my number one, is to get rid of this. This, absolutely should go away on the subscription page because it's getting in the way of that. And okay, that's it. That's my number one.
Yeah.
Tyler, over to you.
Yeah, that was also on my list. I noticed the bar at the bottom. And then I also noticed it when you get into the subscribe card page, which is a little too much. People are already here. They're already thinking about subscribing, and we don't want to hide that information with additional offers. And even the offer that I'm seeing, I'm not quite sure is the $250 a month, like yearly plan. Maybe. So in any case, just move the bar at the bottom, maybe remove that from the site entirely. And then, yes, my other, Pete mentioned it, feedback would be a free registration setup.
Mm-hmm.
This is doing two things at once, but I noticed that there's a lot of free content. I don't know how many times I went through different articles and never got prompted with anything other than the bottom bar that you have.
Right.
And I think you can do better by having a free registration. Just ask for an email. Even if you're not really into making people pay for content, at least ask them to sign up for free. And that gets them on your newsletter, that gets them registered inside of Leaky Paywall and WordPress. And when the time comes, they'll be able to pay for your content, for that ad-free experience, if that's what you're going after.
I totally agree. That is the point of friction that you want to focus on, is the free registration. Here's how it plays out on TJourney. If I go here and I'm reading this article, I think they only give away one article before asking to register, which I would recommend doing. And then here we have a new feature called Quick Register. So they're asking for an email address, a password. You hit register, and that logs the person in and gets them access to this article. And this messaging works quite well, because that's the motivation of the casual reader. They want to read the article. So yes, the free registration, it's really critical. We've been working with a number of publishers getting free registrations set up on their sites. It's night and day. What'll happen is, if, right now, like Tyler said, I read 10 articles, but the site didn't tell me to do anything. So I just read my 10 articles and went away. But if you had stopped me after the first article and then said, hey, keep reading, if you register, and I'd recommend offering your maybe 3 articles a month, I would call it a few, publish a few free articles plus your newsletter, which is a value. In order to register, what you'll see is that little piece of friction there will start bringing in free registered subscribers. And then those will shoot those to your newsletter. It'll grow your newsletter. And then what you'll find down the road is you'll find actually a ratio between your free registrations that are coming in and the ones that convert to paid subscriptions. And it's 5 to 10%. Some publications are higher, much higher. Some are lower, but 5 to 10 is pretty average in terms of conversion over time. Sometimes it happens right away. Usually it takes a few months for that to happen. So yes, that if you do one thing today or tomorrow would be to set up the free registration, offer a little bit of a benefit. That starts the relationship. That takes that super casual reader from Google or from a social share. They say, yeah, free is good. They'll register. And then that'll get them into your newsletter. Your newsletter pushes them back to read more content. And then they'll get the upgrade message after a few extra articles to subscribe. Bingo. All right.
I like it.
So that's 1 and 2. I'll jump in with my number 3, my third one, which is pricing. So let me go back to the website here. And by the way, just before I forget, so you have your subscribe button and login button. Make this login a link. The subscribe is great. That should always be a button. Buttons convert better than text links. So make the login a text link, and that'll give it a little differentiation from the subscribe. And I see you have Get Relevant here, but let's go talk about pricing real quick. The data on pricing is pretty interesting. The simpler you can make things, the better. Now you have 3 choices. That's great. We as humans are conditioned in 3s. 3 is a good amount of choices, but what's working even better is if you slim it down to 1 choice. Maybe you can't do it. I realize you have a print of a product as well as digital, but what I'm looking at here, if I look at $3.99 per month, and then I look at $29.99 per year, and I'm not sure if this is print or digital, by the way. At first thought this was print only, but I wasn't really sure. Clarify what annual means. Is it annual digital or is it annual print? And then premium annual does feel like I get print and digital. Oh yeah, here it is, print and digital, and then most popular. Just clarify what that is. But you're making me do math. So I'm looking at $60 a year versus 30. What's the difference? What do I not get here? And then $4 a month. That's digital only. I think I get that. What's working is not making readers do math. I would, if it were me, I would have a digital only subscription for $59.99, and I would have a print and digital subscription for $59.99. Same price, different delivery method. Readership is split. Some people want print. That's really all they're interested in. They'll pay for the print. Some people don't want print. They don't want paper laying around. So they want digital. And your content is your content, whether it's in digital, whether it's in print. It's the value is in the content. I talked to a publisher recently who was thinking about doing a print publisher who's doing a print and digital single option with an opt out of print afterwards. So if I actually did not want paper in my house, then I could do that. Gift subscription's great. This is great. Nice, clear call out for the gift subscription. So that's my thought on pricing.
Yeah, I like that. It reminds me of, we had a publisher, I can't remember who it was. Maybe you know who it was, Pete, that did a similar pricing strategy and found that people were actually paying more for not having the print delivered to the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that was actually Modern Drummer magazine. So if they're not doing it anymore, I'm in fact not sure what they're up to these days, but what they did is when we launched with them years ago, they set their digital price higher than their print and digital price. So their print digital annual was $30 and their digital only annual was $60, which you think that is insane. Why would you do that? They needed more revenue on the digital side because the ads carried the print side for them. And I'll put it this way, over 10% of their subscriber base paid more for digital subscriptions just to not have paper in their house, which blew everybody's mind, but they did it. But today, really, the strategy is focused around simplicity and keeping pricing the same, regardless of delivery method. Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting one. All right. Hey, Tyler, anything else you want to?
No, I think that's all. Just my 3 points were just a bit too generous on the number of articles.
Yep.
Not having a free option, sign up registration, and removing that bar at the bottom. If anything, just if you want to keep it elsewhere, just make sure to remove it from here, at the very least. So that when people do come to here, they're not trying to calculate. Because now, after seeing it now, I do realize that the $250 a month is your annual plan. Would be the math shakes out to $250. Just adding that bar, I think, hammers your point home, Pete. On there's too much calculation that people have to do, and less is more for sure.
Yeah, and that free registration that'll pre-populate your checkout when someone's actually ready to pay. That's a little extra bonus. All right. That's it for today then. Hope that's helpful. Please reach out if you want to talk about this or other strategies. Always happy to chat. And Tyler, thanks. And
Thank you.
Catch you next time. See ya.